Entertainment journalism is in a very rocky place because most writers have resorted to simply putting out hate pieces in order to bait readers in while providing little real substance. But according to this new interview, most entertainment news sites will go broke by mid-2024. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. Now, this is an interview up on clownfishtv.com. It says most entertainment news sites to go broke by mid-2024. So this is a very in-depth interview with Josh Tyler, the founder of the entertainment news site Cinema Blend and Giant Freaking Robot. And while I'm not going to be reading all of it, there are a few select sections that I think are really important here. So scrolling down a bit, it says you've had quite a journey in your career. Now, to be fair, I've only been working in entertainment journalism for around 4 years now, so you can tell me if I'm wrong. The state of entertainment journalism is probably the weakest it's been since the internet crash, with, for example, ad rates currently a fraction of what they were a year ago for some sites, including Clownfish TV. Now, I would definitely agree with this. The entertainment journalism sphere is in a state of decline and disaster for many different reasons, but yeah, I mean, ad rates have gone down for them, and that's why they have pumped out so much garbage fire content over the past few years, because they are looking for ways to, of course, increase their clicks when they can't at the, traditional level of simply putting more time into articles, putting more effort into their work. Of course, as I've mentioned before, a lot of coverage has gone away from these legacy media type sites to social media, which also has hurt them. YouTubers and Twitch streamers are dominating. Press releases are put out by developers and publishers, and they even do promotional deals with content creators directly. So they're not just giving info to legacy media anymore. They're going to social media influencers too, and that's going to hurt the bottom line of any outlet that isn't breaking the news first anymore. To clarify, ad rates are really only down 30 to 40% industry-wide. That's still bad, but not what the hyperbole out there suggests. He also says that ad rates are not the problem. No one wants to admit it, but traffic is the problem. It's also not AI, though there's a lot of hype and fear about it. That's an excuse. I have read so many articles recently talking about AI, and even in videos. I mean, the Gamers Group job ad ignited backlash in gaming and tech media because they basically are looking for an AI assistant. They want someone to come into the company and put parameters into an AI, have AI pump out articles, and then the human basically just, reads through them, checks them, maybe alters them a little bit. Basically just an AI editor, which has infuriated a lot of people and, journalists included, because we are talking about ads and jobs here that you'd pay someone a fraction of the cost, because it's not like they are the ones taking the time to research, to write, to edit, to publish. They are simply, skimming through and double checking AI work. It says, though, the real reason companies like Vice and BuzzFeed are going out of business, and expect a lot more very soon, is that they no longer have any readers. And they no longer have any readers because web traffic is now entirely controlled by a small handful of tech companies. Around September 2022, those tech companies decided to stop sending traffic to new publishers. And even going, further into that, he was asked, wow, that's a bold statement, but I can't agree with you more. It's alarming how much the landscape has shifted in such a short span of time. Yet, to push back a little from my observations, it seems that nerd news sites companies like Geo Media, which now owns Kotaku and Gizmodo, did do themselves some self-inflicted damage by relying on bad faith tactics like clickbait and trolling readers. They go on to say, there's no denying that things are a mess and only getting worse. I still remember when I first began noticing the shift. The reporter wrote up this story in which they talked in detail about what a racist Clint Eastwood was and how he'd said horrible racist things in a hate-filled tirade. I reviewed the article with my editor-in-chief before we published it, since this was big and, very intense accusations at the time. But the point is that this is what this industry kind of has turned into. It is happening in, movie, TV show, Hollywood, entertainment side of journalism, but also in gaming journalism, as the interviewer Peter, mentions. Kotaku, Gizmodo, they did inflict damage upon themselves by relying on bad faith tactics like clickbait and trolling readers. And that is why I am constantly giving shitty journalists attention, because while yes, we could be silent and they could fade into obscurity, that's most likely not going to happen, because there are always going to be people that are going to go to their sites that are going to think that, wow, Kotaku's a really well-known name in the industry, I'm going to click their articles. And if we don't call out the fact that they are constantly attacking the people they need to read their articles, they're just going to continue to do it and potentially get clicks on it. And, a lot of these journalists at Kotaku's, the gamers, Game Rants, Gizmodos, they're not really journalists. They want to be political commentators. They're not giving you unbiased information themselves anymore, which is the difference, from a real commentator. Because a commentator like myself, you're not going to expect an unbiased view from me, because I'm a commentator, not a journalist. Journalists are supposed to tell the news without a bias, which they're not doing anymore. And, like I said, they're not really articles about the content anymore. They're articles about politics. It's like the people who are in gaming want to be political analysts, so everything has a slant to it. And it seems that the majority of these sites are left-leaning. Take it or leave it, but you can't deny it, and they shouldn't be. They should not be these commentators. They should be journalists first and foremost. And it is sad to see this happen, right? Because I love the gaming industry. I want it to be successful. I want it to be healthy. Same with entertainment. But these people need to be ripped out of these industries, and they are very bad at their jobs to the point where they should not even have these jobs. And I also had read this article in a video recently, but it says, why do games media layoffs keep happening? And this is, a piece that does primarily defend these individuals, but they do, talk a lot about just kind of the state of the industry, as we've already been, discussing. But, they're coping. They are full on coping with using the excuses that, it's AI and supply chain issues, and the market environment is just very tough. If you were better at your job, you would still have viewers, you would still have readers, you would still have an audience. But this is what happens when you put out the most garbage content possible, push people away because you say, well, I don't like your personal opinions, and if you don't like mine, you should stop reading. And they've created the environment that they now find themselves trapped in. I do think that this is a pretty good interview by Clownfish and Peter. But yeah, most entertainment news sites seem to be headed on their way out. They are slowly but surely dying. And I do think that going into 2024, we are going to see a major shift where many more are shut down and, fade into the abyss. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.